Hello students. We studied the properties of charges when it is at rest. In reality, the charges are always moving within the materials. Say for example, if we take a copper wire, the electrons in the wire are never at rest and are continuously in random motion. As a result, it is very important to analyze the behavior of charges when it is in motion. This is what we call it as electric current. This is a pictorial representation of the electron movement inside a conductor. An electric charge in an electric field possesses potential energy. This is because it is acted upon by a force due to the electric field, so that work is done as a charge moves. You can see in the diagram the movement of the electrons from the higher potential to the lower potential. Current electricity is a steady flow of charges. A great physicist, Alessandro Volta, invented the first battery which produced a steady flow of electric current. Our modern world depends on the use of electricity. We can't imagine a life without electricity. Say, for example, our electronic devices, communication systems, daily home appliances, and the list is endless. So, in this chapter, we will study about electric current, resistance, and various related phenomena in materials. If we consider the history of electric current, substances are divided into three types based on their ability to conduct the electric charges. They are conductors, insulators, and semiconductors. In conductors, we know that there will be large number of free electrons. In insulators, there are no free electrons. In semiconductors, it is partially between conductor and insulator. Matter is made up of atoms. And we know that each atom consists of a positively charged nucleus with the electrons which are negatively charged moving around the nucleus. In some materials like conductors, the electrons revolving in the outermost orbit of an atom, which we call as valence electrons, are loosely bound to the nucleus. So even for a very small temperature, the valence electrons detaches from the atom and they can easily jump from atom to atom inside the metal. These detached electrons are called as free electrons or conduction electrons. In metals, there is a very large number of free electrons which act as carriers of charge. In electrolytic conductors, both positive and negative ions are the charge carriers. If you consider gases, normally gases are insulators of electricity, but they can be ionized by applying a high potential difference at low pressures or even by passing X rays. So we say that in gases, positive ions and electrons are the charge carriers. Current electricity is a branch of physics which deals with the charges in motion, just as water in motion constitutes water current. So, electric charges in motion constitute electric current. The charges can be either positive ions, it can be negative ions, or it can be electrons. For the charges to flow between the 2 points, there must be a potential difference between the 2 points and there should be a conducting path between the 2 points. Suppose the potential difference is maintained between the 2 points of a conductor, then there will be constant flow of charges. And the time rate of flow of charge through any cross section of a conductor is the measure of current. So electric current is the rate of flow of charge. Expression is given as current is nothing but charge divided by time. Charge is denoted by the letter Q. Time is small letter t. The unit of current is ampere. The current through a conductor is said to be 1 ampere if 1 coulomb of charge flows per second through a section of the conductor. 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb divided by 1 second. Current is also a rate quantity, just like velocity, the rate at which an object changes its position. Acceleration, the rate at which an object changes its velocity. Power, the rate at which work is done on an object. So in every case of a rate quantity, the mathematical equation will have some quantity over time. Electrochemical cells. For the flow of current, there are two criterias. First one is a necessary potential difference, and the second one is a closed path. One simple and convenient energy source is a battery. A battery is a combination of electrochemical cells. And each electrochemical cell is a package of chemicals that will convert chemical energy into electrical energy. A simple electrochemical cell includes an electrolyte and two electrodes. An electrolyte is a liquid or a paste that conducts electricity because it will contain chemicals and those chemicals will form ions. Electrodes are metal strips and they react with the electrolyte. So, two different electrodes, such as zinc and copper, are used in a battery, and those two electrodes can be considered as the terminals. So let us picture an apple hanging from a low branch tree. So obviously apple will have potential energy. The reason is because of its position from the ground. Similarly, a battery also has a chemical potential energy in the electrolyte in its electrochemical cells. And these chemicals in the electrolyte, where they react with the electrodes, and this causes a difference in the amount of electrons between the two terminals. In static electricity, the electrons gather in one place and the charges flow between the 2 points during electrostatic discharge. And these charges will flow in a very unpredictable way and they occur for a very short period of time. But in current electricity, there is a steady flow of electric charge through the conductor. So each electron will have electric potential energy. Many examples can be quoted. Say, for example, a fully charged battery is needed to operate a MP3 player. If the battery is charged, the electrons will flow through the MP3 player and it works, else it doesn't work. But all the devices doesn't require a battery to create the flow of charges. Say, for example, take our computer monitor as an example, which we usually plug into wall outlet. So in this case, the flow of electrons is produced by the generating station and they eventually flow into the wires in your home and then to our monitor. So in a battery, as mentioned, two electrodes. So one terminal in a battery has mainly negative charges. The other terminal has mainly positive charges. And these electrons gets attracted to the positive charges at the positive terminal. And if these two terminals are connected using a conductor, then these electrons will flow from the negative to the positive terminal. So the difference in the electric potential energy between the 2 points in a circuit is called as potential difference or voltage. This difference is what causes for the current to flow in a closed circuit. One important point is higher the potential difference in a circuit, greater will be the potential energy of each electron. So potential difference. Remember the word diffusion, high to low. Similarly, electric charges will also flow from a point of higher potential to lower potential. So in the circuit, you can see there is a filament connecting wire and electric cell. So both the criteria are satisfied. Number one is a conducting path and the second one potential difference. So this difference in electric potential between the 2 points in a circuit is known as potential difference. It is the same as voltage also. Similarly, this is one genuine example. The water flows from high potential to the low potential. So this is a simple circuit consisting of a battery and there is a conductor connecting wire. You can see the movement of electrons from the negative terminal to the positive terminal and the movement of holes from the positive terminal to the negative terminal. Conventional current direction is from positive to negative and electronic current direction is from negative to positive. Next concept is about drift velocity. So in order to discuss about drift velocity, you can see in the diagram there is a metallic wire, okay, and the electrons are having the electron movement is in a very zigzag way. So this happens in the absence of electric field. What do you mean by electric field? Electric field is nothing but connecting the metallic wire or a conductor across a battery. So in the absence of electric field, that is in the absence of a battery, the electrons will have random direction. But in the presence of electric field, each electron will experience a force and they move opposite to the direction of the electric field. Since we know that electric field starts from positive and ends with the negative. Here we discuss a special type of velocity called as drift velocity. So in a conductor, the charge carriers are free electrons. And these electrons will move freely through the conductor and they collide repeatedly with the ions, positive ions. And if there is no electric field, the electrons move in random directions. Obviously, their velocities are also completely random direction. On an average, we say number of electrons traveling in any direction will be equal to the number of electrons traveling in the opposite direction. So, as a result, there is no net flow of electrons in any direction and hence there will not be any current in the absence of electric field. Suppose a potential difference is set across the conductor, that is by connecting a battery, an electric field will be created. And this electric field will exert a force on the electrons, producing a current. And the electric field will accelerate the electrons, while the ions try to scatter the electrons and they try to change the direction of motion. Thus, we have zigzag path of the electrons. In addition to the zigzag motion due to the collisions, the electrons they move slowly along the conductor in a direction opposite to that of the electric field. So this velocity, what we call it as drift velocity. So drift velocity is defined as the average velocity with which the electrons are drifted in a direction opposite to the direction of the electric field. So we know that electrons are moving from negative to the positive terminal. Electric field is from positive to negative terminal. So drift velocity is defined as the average velocity with which the electrons are drifted in a direction against the electric field. Against the electric field. So the acceleration experienced by the electron in an electric field is given by A vector is equal to minus E capital letter E vector by M. Since F is equal to M into A, the equation we are very much familiar. And we know that the force experienced by a charge in an electric field is given by F is equal to Q into E. Your Q is replaced by our electron charge, that is nothing but E. Electrons are negatively charged, so minus E into capital letter E vector, and that is substituted. So A vector is nothing but minus E vector divided by M. Drift velocity is given by the expression Vd. Vd stands for drift velocity. Vd vector is equal to A vector into tau. So A vector expression is substituted and we are going to get an expression for drift velocity, that is Vd vector is equal to minus E tau E vector by M. So E is nothing but the electron charge, tau is the relaxation time, M is the mass of the electron, and capital letter E vector is the electric field. Electric field is a vector quantity, Vd vector, drift velocity is a vector quantity. The negative sign tells us that electrons are drifted in a direction opposite to the electric field. We introduce a new parameter called mobility of the electron. So mobility of the electron is defined as the magnitude of the drift velocity per unit electric field. And the SI unit of mobility is meter square per Vs.